Hi guys, I am going to make this video and try and help you guys to understand a little bit more about what I want to come out of this narrative. So what we're trying to do and what we're trying to learn here right now is how to use our notebook paper properly. Okay, first thing is that I know that you guys have gotten used to using multiple lines from kindergarten and first grade, but now being in second grade, we're going to start using real notebook paper. So first thing we need to remember and realize is that we only use one line now. So we write on the line, our capital letters are bigger than our lowercase letters so that we know that we can see the difference between the capital and lowercase. We're going to use the lines. We're going to also use these red guidelines on both sides of the page. So we can see this side of my page, I have the red guideline that helps me to remember where to stop and start. But I can also see the red guideline from the other side of the page through the paper, and that helps me to know when I need to return to the next line. So we try and keep our writing in between these two red lines. Sometimes it comes out a little bit, and that's okay, but you don't want to go all the way to the edge of the paper. So you can't see it, but this red line, the red guideline, is always going to be on your left hand side. So your left hand side is the side that's the front of the page. Also, you always want to know that the top of the page has this big margin at the top. So you can see at the top of the page how there's a large white space at the top, and that is the margin for the top of your page, and you want to make sure that's at the top, and that the red guideline and the holes, usually I cut those off in the picture, sorry, the holes and the red guideline are on your left hand side, the dark red, so the soft red that's on the other side will be on your left when you flip the page over. So you need to make sure that the red line is on the left, the big margin's at the top, and that's how we look at our paper, and that's where we know we're writing on the proper side of this page. It's the sorry, I can't talk. It's the place where you start. We put our name and our date always on the top right hand corner. Always put your name and date. Every page that you ever write, whether it's the rough draft or the final copy, you're going to put your name and the date on it. We like to put our title in the center. I put it a couple lines down in the center of my page. This is where my title will go. Then when I start to write, I'm always going to indent. Now this arrow is here just to give you an idea of where to start, but you're not going to draw an arrow on your page. You're going to leave that space there. You're going to start your paragraph here. You're going to put spaces between your words and indent your paragraphs. Then when you start a new paragraph, you're going to indent that. That's how we know the difference between each paragraph. That's how you know when one paragraph has ended and one paragraph has started. Each section of your story will be a new paragraph. So when we are writing our narrative, you're going to write a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you will have 3 paragraphs. Each paragraph needs to have at least 3 sentences in it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example in a minute of a quick narrative that I wrote. So each section of your story will have a new paragraph, and that means you need to indent your words again on each paragraph. Each paragraph needs to be indented. Spelling is important. Remember, please sound out your words. If you have a word grouped together with a bunch of letters and there are no vowels, more than likely that word has been spelled wrong. I had a student in class the other day. He was asking me, Miss Amanda, how do you spell donkey? And I said, you know what? I want you to sound that out, every sound in that word. And that's why we've been practicing, guys. We've been practicing sounding out every sound in each word so that we can spell well. And he spelled donkey correctly all by himself, and he was so proud of himself when he was done. He really was successful. And I had another student yesterday. She was sounding out all kinds of words, and she was coming to me and she was saying, "Did I spell this right?" And I was like, "Yes, you did. You did a great job." And she did it word after word after word. She was sounding out every sound that and spelling all of her words correctly. So I know you can do it. So when you go to a word, when you get to a word and you don't remember how to spell it, sound it out. All the word like this, like important. It would be M or T and T. Okay, so I would be able to spell important just by sounding it out fully. Always use your red guidelines. That means when we come back, we indent, but we always come all the way back to the red line. That way your paper doesn't end up going all diagonal all the way across. Always use your red guidelines, and this keeps your paper in order. It keeps it nice and neat and straight. Let's see. So these are the things that we're going to use. This is one of the pages that we did the other day. And we did it together. So so good readers use this to keep information in their head for comprehension purposes. But good writers also do this, and I told you that when we talked about it the other day. Good writers use this as a guideline or an outline, so to speak, to write a nice story. So they figure out their characters, they figure out their setting, they figure out what they want in the beginning, what they want in the middle, and what they want in the end. So that way they can keep a good idea, and they don't go off on a tangent. They don't go off and start talking and rambling about things that aren't in the story. So here's my example, and forgive the lines. I was trying to keep it on the lines, but it's very difficult. That's a picture of notebook paper, and I was trying to type it. So forgive my lines. I was trying to keep it in the blue lines. So what I did was I came up with a short story that I wanted to write. My characters. My characters are a dog, a cat, and a boy. And then I put my setting, and then said my setting is in a house and a backyard. Then I put in the beginning, in the beginning the dog and the cat do not like each other. And then I have for the middle, I put in the middle the boy is trying to get the two pets to get along. And in the end, I wanted them to be friends or best. I put in the end, I want them to become best friends. So this is my notes. This is my outline. This is what I'm going to write about. Now notice I have in the beginning, this is going to be one paragraph about how the dog and cat don't like each other. And in the middle, that's going to be a separate paragraph because that's about something different, right? It's about the boy trying to get the cat and the dog to get along. And then in the end, that's going to be a separate paragraph also because it's about something different again. It's about the cat and the dog getting along and becoming friends. So we want to make sure that we get all of those in and that they're all separate paragraphs. So here is the results. The story I wrote with the notes that I took. So I put my name and the date at the top of the paper. I put my title right in the middle. I waited until I was done writing to choose my title because I wanted to make sure that it fit the story. Now there was a dog. Notice I indented my first paragraph. So I have an indent here. We know that this is the first paragraph because it's indented. There's a space that tells us that we're starting. So, there was a dog and a cat that lived together in the same house. They both had a pet boy. The house was big and cozy, and they all had plenty of space to run and play. They also had a big, spacious backyard. The cat and dog did not get along at all. They really did not like each other at all. The boy wanted the dog and the cat to be friends. Every day he tried to get them to play together. He worked hard at this goal. Now, another space. See the space where the boy was trying to get them to get along, and then there's a space, an indent for my last paragraph. One day, the cat and dog saw that they really had no reason to not get along. They made a pact to be friends and never be mean to each other again. So, that's the end of my story. And I feel like I gave you 3 paragraphs. Each paragraph has enough in it, 3 sentences each or more, because my first paragraph has more. And so you saw my notes, my outline. And then when you're done, you're going to, I'm going to have to go to the checklist. So when you're done writing your first one, which this is one of the pages that I wanted to go over with you today, but we were not able to because my camera was not working. You're going to go to page 35 in your skills book, in your green skills book, and you're going to go through your writing, your rough draft. Your first time you write it, excuse me, the first time you write it is a rough draft. You're going to edit it after you write it the first time. So you're going to say, hey, do I have a title? Have I described the setting at the start? Have I described my characters? Do I have a plot, a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? Something that we've been working on, right? Do all of my sentences start with uppercase letters? This is very important. I noticed that this is a serious problem. Okay, so guys, remember, we always talk about this. Everyone tells me all the time we start our sentences with uppercase letters, but then I check your writing and I have to remind you, hey, is that uppercase? Are you writing with a capital at the beginning? So remember, after the punctuation, when you start a new sentence, you're going to capitalize it. So it's not just the first sentence of the paragraph. Every single sentence that starts, you have to start with a capital letter. And then punctuation, don't forget. End your thought with a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark. You have to make sure that you punctuate at the end. And then check, have I spelled all my words correctly? Is this word really, so were is one of our spelling words. That's a big one. A lot of people misspell that. We know that W-E-R-E is were, not where. Where has an H in it. Okay, so go through your words and make sure that it is correct and that you're spelling well. And the next thing you want to say is, do I have sense words? Am I telling people how everything is happening? Did I describe how things look? How do they feel? How do they taste? How do they sound? We use those adjectives that we've been practicing with. Use them. Red, green, lovely. Oh, it smells delicious. You know, use that descriptive writing that we have been working on. Remember, all of your sentences have to have a subject and a predicate. So make sure that they have everything that you need in them. I hope that this was a good guideline for you guys to get started on a nice narrative. Use your imagination. Write something that you think is fun to write about. I already have a few from in the class. Some are writing about unicorns. One kid's going to be a paleontologist. So use your imagination. Give me something that you really are interested in. All right, guys. I hope this